My 30 female, boyfriend, 30 male, humiliated me in front of all his friends at the cottage. We went away on a road trip with his friends. There's this one guy friend that was there who I don't trust, he's an alcoholic. We were all playing Scrabble and my boyfriend and this guy friend stepped outside to smoke, talk. 30 Malines later my boyfriend came inside and quickly ran upstairs to blow his nose. He came back downstairs and he sat next to me constantly sniffing and picking his nose. He was super antsy, shaking his leg and rocking in his chair. I could see sweat on his face. I look over at this guy friend and he seems out of it. I've never seen my boyfriend sniff and have a runny nose like this, especially all of the sudden. Long story short, I found out that he had allergies but I didn't know at the time. IDKY, but my instant thought was that they did cocaine outside. I bring my boyfriend upstairs in private and I asked him if he did cocaine. I was genuinely concerned. Instead of answering me, he got mad, stormed downstairs and told everyone that I thought that he was on cocaine. I was upstairs laying in bed crying embarrassed and I could hear him making fun of me with his friends and them all laughing at me. His brother told my boyfriend to go upstairs and talk to me and clear things up with me, but he continued to storm around the house all mad and stubborn. It wasn't until the next day his brother told me that my boyfriend suffers from severe allergies and has asthma. I feel so humiliated and hurt that my boyfriend would put me in a situation like that, but I feel guilty because he feels like I accused him of doing drugs. He has in the past in his teenage years and doesn't do it anymore. Could I have handled this differently? I thought I did all the right things by asking him in private and not in front of all his friends. Too long did not read. My 30 female, boyfriend, 32 male, humiliated me in front of all his friends at the cottage. Hi. Internet stranger here. He's lying. I've dated, unfortunately, a couple of coke heads. And he was acting like a cokehead. My ex used to say allergies. You asked a question. You didn't accuse him of anything. His reaction, however, is just how unbalanced my ex would get if I asked him. I hope your next post is about how your ex promises to be better and you tell him to fuck off and you find a healthy, supportive, nurturing relationship. You don't deserve to ever feel the way he made you feel. Remember that hurt and know that your feelings don't really matter to him. You deserve better. Allergies don't make you antsy and sweaty, and his reaction was too much. He probably sniffed some booger sugar. I suffer from severe allergies and have asthma. I have used cocaine in my younger years. Your boyfriend was doing cocaine and he went out of his way to humiliate you. Hope his is now your ex. Some people call it allergies, some people call it pop, where I'm from. That was definitely coke. No way in hell was that allergies. I have severe allergies and asthma too and have to take daily medication. Never have I reacted antsy, sweated, acted dodgy while sniffing. That is a coke reaction. My 22 male, girlfriend, 22 female, got blackout drunk on our anniversary and kept calling me a loser. Throw away cause I don't want her to find this. My girlfriend and I were supposed to celebrate our 3-year anniversary today. She started the day with telling me about how not that big of a deal the anniversary was, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little hurt. I specifically tried hard to make sure I got the day off from work even after some scheduling conflicts with my boss almost made it impossible. I even surprised her this morning with wine and chocolate and her favorite sodas. We went to a couple of different places including the mall and Target and some errands that she needed done. I tried my absolute best to make sure my attention was on her all day long, which is difficult sometimes because I have ADD and tend to get distracted when I'm just relaxing. She did get me a few things throughout the day, but overall she mostly ignored me, not wanting to stand with me, or just getting mad at little things. I tried to end our day off at the bar near our place, which I thought would be a romantic way to end things. She had already had 2 glasses of wine at our house and went for a few more drinks at the bar. When I was ready to leave, she insisted we go to another bar down the street, and maybe I should have said something, but I also thought it wasn't my place to boss her around, and there was an arcade in the bar, so I was willing to go to try and get her to play some arcade games with me. She instead tried to leave me and join a table of random people at the bar, which is where I finally intervened and told her it's our anniversary and I wanted to be with her. She finished her drink, we didn't play any games, and began to walk home. Halfway home I realized she was blackout drunk, couldn't stand straight, could barely walk, and wasn't speaking right. She insisted that I leave her on the street to go get her the car and drive her home, which I refused because I had a couple drinks and I didn't want to risk it. This is where she began to get really mad at me. At one point she wanted to use the bathroom right on the bridge we were on, and when I told her she can't because that's illegal, she got more upset. Fast forward to us being home now, and she went to use the bathroom, could barely stand up, demanded I make her food, and then she just kept calling me a loser over and over again. She finished her food and went to bed saying I was useless. Now I've always been emotional, but I just want to cry now. I don't want to be with someone who thinks I'm a loser. I'd do anything for her. Did I do something wrong? What should I do? TLDR, my girlfriend got blackout drunk and called me useless and a loser. Did I do something wrong? What should I do? I am disturbed that after being treated this poorly, your response is to ask if you did something wrong. This is how abuse victims think. You need to re-evaluate whether you want to be in this relationship. It's pronounced as ex-girlfriend. You'll find it rolls off the tongue much easier the more often you say it. Leave. Pack your stuff while she's asleep. And leave. Block her on everything. The only thing you did wrong was spend 3 years with someone who clearly does not appreciate you. I would wake her up in the morning and tell her that she called you a loser in a blackout drunk. I don't even know why somebody wants to be with somebody like that. My boyfriend, M28, broke my F25 trust with a stupid move. Long story short, me, F25, and my boyfriend, M28, with whom I've been for 7 months and am engaged, work for the same company but in different teams. Recently I had an unpleasant situation with one of the senior employees, and my team leader told me not to worry since he got fired, but asked me specifically not to tell anyone since it's not a public thing yet. Being apparently dumb, I told my boyfriend about it since he as well works with that person, asking him not to tell anyone, and he said OFC I won't. WTF. Today I sat on my computer to start my shift and I use his laptop for Discord group that we are both in, but we only have one personal laptop, so I use his account when using Discord. Anyway, I open the Discord app on it. And there it is. Messages. From him to his coworkers talking about that senior employee getting fired. Obviously him telling that other coworker and that person asking how does he know about it. I am hurt that he said he won't tell anyone and wondering who else did he talk to about it, since it was so easy for him to just go off and spread it to another person like that. I feel like he broke my trust. You don't know this guy nearly well enough to be engaged, and you obviously didn't know him well enough to know you can't confide in him. If you want to continue the relationship, take a big step back and start really noticing things about him before you make any kind of commitment. This has already moved way too fast. Neither of you can keep a secret. Maybe he also told them to never tell anyone. This isn't going to be popular, but I think you should first realize that the only reason he knew was because you told him when you weren't supposed to tell him. He did the same thing you did, so being angry with him and not taking responsibility yourself isn't fair. This has happened to me before too, and my initial reaction was the same, but I realized it was my fault. I learned to not tell secrets or to ask for permission to tell my significant other, and I think that bothered them when I wouldn't talk about certain things, but it also taught them the same lesson. Perhaps, you don't actually know the boyfriend you've been with and got engaged to after only dating for 7 months all that well. I would think about that before actually marrying him. I don't see why you wouldn't confront him about this and ask him to not spread the gossip you're already telling him. The reality is, as SOs, you're gonna gossip and talk about things you won't want to share with others. This one affected someone else. Whether you should have told him to begin with is another issue. But the next thing could be something really personal to you that you don't want spread around. Really convey to him that this is something you trusted him with, that he broke, and that the onus is on him to prove his trustworthiness with you if he wants to set things right. With whom I've been for 7 months and am engaged. Are you in an arranged marriage culture? It should really give you pause that you don't even know how to broach the subject of a relatively minor issue, but are already planning to spend the rest of your lives together. You don't even know each other. Prepare for many, many more surprises about who your boyfriend is in the future. He's 24M, benefiting more in this relationship than me 22F. He still lives at home and doesn't have a car yet. I understand this. However, I feel like he benefits more from this relationship than I do. I do his hair, cook for him, he's always at my apartment, I really take care of him. And at most we'll probably go out on a date. Confused face, feel like he's benefiting more. Forgot to mention he has a great job, too, intact. No, you feel like he's using you. If you didn't, you wouldn't be keeping score. Date someone else. It's not a competition. It's not about fairness. It's not an economic transaction. It's about, are you happy and fulfilled? Are you getting what you want and need? It sounds like you're not. So, what are you going to do about it? Is this the same guy who didn't support you during your pregnancy and abortion? He doesn't sound like a good boyfriend at all. I was going to comment that an investment banker who is working a second job isn't a good investment banker. There should be some give and take in any relationship. But if he isn't asking you to cook for him, that's your issue, not his. If someone's offering, chances are someone's going to take it. Stop offering to do things you begrudge doing. If you want him to take you out places, you need to specify you'd like to spend less time at home. He may not even know these issues exist if you're offering away and not enforcing change by making suggestions. Some women are happy to be hermits, others need to live life externally. Suggest doing something, a film you want to see or an upcoming activity, in a week's time and see his response. Going from one mother to the other. Good luck with your son.